So the purpose of the class today is to do the year wrap up. This is our last group class of the year, and then we're going to hit January running. I'm excited about 2024. I'm excited that we're going to have not just me teaching for 2024, but I'm also hiring teachers, people who want to have a platform where they can share their knowledge and share their informational tools, because 2024, you're going to have to use every tool you have, okay? Every last tool. No more, I'll get to that later. No more, pushing that to the back burner. All of it, okay? It's going to take you putting 1,000,000% into you, and the reward is going to be fantastic, okay? So no, not just work and no reward, all reward, you know what I'm saying? But this is the time we really stop playing with ourselves. So know that we're going to have not just astrology as a tool. I'm bringing on human design as well as a tool. I'm bringing on my thoughts of us having plant medicine group studies every month. So we're going to be doing a lot, all right? And not just astrology, but I'm going to be giving you guys all the things that I use to help me to stay as in aligned as I possibly can, okay? In alignment as I possibly can. So I'm going to just let everybody else roll on in. Today's topic, of course, is this beautiful Mercury retrograde. Isn't it beautiful? We're going to talk about that. Right now it's in Capricorn. It's doing all kinds of stuff, as y'all can see, not just in your lives. You can see in the media. You can see in just our world, things are changing. We talked about this from a finance perspective some months ago. We had our last class. So this is just a continuation of that, the wrap up of that. So Mercury retrograde, we're definitely going to talk about the new moon in Sag and how that then draws and carries over from the new moon to the full moon in Capricorn that's coming on the 26th. So it's a lot of different things. So I want to use this first part of the class to just go through those things, so kind of like pinpoint certain areas that is really going on right now. And then, as I always love to do, I want to make sure that in our group classes that we are taking the time to study individually, right? Meaning, like, I want you guys to pull out anything that you feel like you want to talk about as much time as we have. I'm going to talk to everybody about their Capricorn and their Sagittarius placements, okay? So that's an automatic. But any other things that seem to stick out, if we have the time, let's definitely do that, okay? All right, one more minute, and then we're going to jump into the first topic. We're going to start off with the new moon in Sagittarius that happened on the 12th. The theme of it, some invitations and stuff that I want you guys to just kind of look at, and then how that then combined itself to not only the Mercury retrograde, but also the Pluto and Capricorn at the last degree. So we're going to talk about those things, okay? All right, so I'm going to pull up my things as I am shifting over. Give me 1 second. All right, hold up. Where am I at? Okay, here. Boom, boom, boom. All right, new moon in Sag. I'm going to pull up the chart first on moon seat, and then we're going to go into a few slides. Boom. All right, we're in. So let me know if you guys give me a yes in the chat if you can see my screen. Can I close it up? Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Yes. Perfect. All right. So new moon in Sagittarius. So the chart for that day, as you can see, we had the sun that was at 20 degrees 0.40, the moon was a 20.39, so that is that conjunction right there. So of course, everything on that new moon bringing us in was about expansion, right? Ready to go. So some of that energy combined with Mercury being in Capricorn, not yet at this time period that has shifted into the retrograde, but we're going to go into the time that it did. Venus is in Scorpio, Mars is also in Sagittarius, Jupiter is in Taurus. We also have Saturn in Pisces. We have Uranus in Taurus as well. We also have Neptune in Pisces, Pluto in Capricorn, South Node in Aries, Lilith in Virgo, as well as Chiron is also in Aries. So if you can see, it's just a lot of energy that was starting to move on that day. So what is the new moon theme? What was the whole energy in dealing with the new moon and dealing with Sagittarius this season? Well, it's about your fears, right? Meaning like a lot of the energy that we have been resistant into jumping into as far as it relates to what we're supposed to be doing has been our just lack of the energy that we feel like we can really do it. So y'all heard me say a lot that it's not necessarily us having a fear of failure as it is us having a fear of success. Well, this energy that you're in right now in the Sagittarius season is bringing all of that about, right? It's bringing up and pulling up the energy of what you think as it relates to success and what you have been willing to do for success, and as well as all the energy that you have been letting get in your way. Sagittarius has a lot to do with how you are thinking as well. It's what you're putting in your mindset and how hard you are on yourself. So this is a lot of the internal conversations, the mental conversations that has been preventing you from just going out there or taking that risk. So a lot of this energy in dealing with Sagittarius also says, okay, well, if I've been feeling like I can't do it or fear of success, where is this energy coming from? And a lot of it is coming from your spiritual and your daily practices. So that's the reason why I'm saying next year, if you just look at the theme of what we're in now and how it's segueing us into the new year, it is obviously showing you that all of your tools are important. So you can't have or only want to conveniently do these gifts and talents or do these tools and things that you know change your life only when you feel like you are not feeling well. You have to maintain it. So when you're feeling good or when you're feeling bad or when you ain't feeling nothing, you should have a daily practice of something that helps you to maintain. So you need to be thinking about what are your daily practices and what are you not allowing yourself to stay on top of? Like meaning you're working out, but you say you're gonna work out 5 days, but you realistically only doing it 3. You know what I'm saying? Why? Why are you making commitments to yourself and breaking them? But then when it comes down to how you show up for other people, okay, here we go now. You are making sure that you do exactly what you said you're going to do. Why are you a person of standing on your word when it comes down to things that are outside of yourself, but things on the inside of yourself, you find excuses all the time, right? It's because you lack your tools. It's because you don't have your daily practice. It's because you're not committed to yourself like you say you are. So this season is challenging you to face the areas where you have not been doing the best as it relates to your goals, your dreams, and your talents. And that is in your discipline, okay? That's how this Capricorn is going to come in and remind you that you are not as disciplined and not as structured as you say you are, right? That's how all this energy is combining in together. All right, so we look at hold on. Oh, back to my bottom. Go to the finder. Boom. If you go into new moon and Sag, right? I know it's hard. It's hard feeling optimistic among so much collective suffering, but holding the vision is the first step in co-creating the new world. This co-creation, right? Your job, your responsibility. What you don't do affects the whole entire world. So when you start to be, because I'm finna segue into all this propaganda and all this Diddy stuff in a minute, right? You wasting your time, spending time adding your energy to stuff that ain't got nothing to do with you. But the stuff that do got something to do with you, meaning you co-creating and you putting out here the things that you know Spirit is making you do or asking you to do is a part of the issue that is causing the collective suffering. Oh, you want to hear that? We don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear that we got a problem or we have a part to play as a result in what we're seeing today. You think it's all still, it's everybody else. No, you are a part of the collective consciousness. So when you choose not to co-create, but you choose to join your energy on the bullshit, you co-creating on that. That's what you're doing. So how about we take some time to work on our expansion and our vision, right? Be optimistic, disconnect from the BS, from all the stuff they're trying to get you to see. Is it important? Yes, it's important because it lets you see the future. It lets you to see what we are actually working on in the collective consciousness. But now what you have to do is, how can I change this? How can I add what I am and who I am and change this, right? What is my part in what I play? You got to co-create. You have to create the world you say that you're responsible for. Because if you create that world, then we don't have to even deal with this collective suffering. It's going to change with or without you. Okay? Better add your vision to it so it can be with you. All right? So keep that in mindset. Co-create your world. Expand. What is it dealing with you? Okay? So what's some of the themes and some of the invitation of this new moon energy? All right? Revelation. A little turbulence. Making sure that you're breathing, okay? You ain't breathing enough. I don't care how good you think you're breathing. If you ain't sat in meditation or sat in a space where you just, okay? Or if you ain't had no plant medicine therapy, you ain't had your psychedelics make you breathe, okay? You need to breathe, okay? Sit with yourself and just breathe. Why? More oxygen to the body brings more oxygen to the brain. The more you can relax and the more you can hear. That's also a big thing for this retrograde. Listening, okay? Expanding of your mindset. So if you are not, involving your plant medicine in whatever that way. When I mean plant medicine, I'm not just talking about shrooms and THC or LSD. I'm not talking about those things. I'm talking about basil and thyme and sage and oregano. I'm talking about just the herbs that you cook on your daily. You need to be involved in the plant medicine. This is what's going to allow you to have a expansion in your mindset, okay? Invitation. So this is just for y'all to think about. Imagine yourself as the stillness in the eye of the storm. Envision yourself centered amidst the many moving pieces of life. Breathe into the possibilities. This is also going to help you with your co-creation. All right. Now, as we segue from the new moon energy and how this energy then joins with the Mercury retrograde, right? So Mercury retrograde came in on the 13th, right? When energy came in, some of the placements were still the same, but now the Mercury retrograde conversation was at 8 degrees. So how you then start to see what is your language for the Mercury retrograde. Immediately, you should be looking at anything, okay, any placement within your chart where you have 8 degrees. Put that down in the chat right now. What do you have in your chart that's 8 degrees? Okay, in and around 8 degrees. So it don't have to be exact, just 8 degrees 0. It can be 7 or 7 and some change. It could be 8 and some change, 9 and some change. So let's just in that area. Let's just focus on those things. What do you have that is in and around 8 degrees? All right. Let me see. Chat. Are y'all looking? I don't see nothing popping up yet. What do you have in and around 8 degrees?
What about 12 degrees?
No, not 12. 12 is a little bit far off. But let's just stay in and around 8. So if you don't have if you only have something at 12, we'll consider that. But right now, we'll look at stuff that is real close to 8 degrees. All right, let's see. Chat.
8 degrees.
8 degrees. 7, 8. You can even take 6. I'll even be willing to take 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, and 10. All right. Saturn is in Capricorn. Okay, then. Hold that note. You already know what that is. Neptune in Capricorn is exactly at 8. Okay. All right, nothing. Okay. Libra moon, 7 degrees. Virgo Mars, 7 degrees. Okay. Sun in Virgo and Moon in Gemini. 4th house in Cancer, 7 degrees, 10th house. Okay. So the conversation of the Mercury retrograde, right? So y'all keep all of that in mindset. And then I'm going to pull up a little chart that helps you to kind of like look at some of the things that you can kind of correlate to these placements, right? So I'm gonna close the chat out real quick and go to, where are you? Right here. All right, so gonna hold this up too, all right? So when we're looking at Mercury retrograde, we're talking about Capricorn, right? Right now it's in Capricorn at 8 degrees. So anything that we have between 0 and 10 is like elementary school, right? Your mind is just starting to comprehend what that is, right? So we got a 0 to 10-year-old Mercury retrograde energy, okay? When Mercury retrograde is at its first couple of degrees, it can be very cold and stern and very pushed off, wall, you know what I'm saying? But why? Because it is desiring structure, it is desiring time management, it's desiring a whole bunch of different things. So when you look at spaces where you have energy of 8 degrees, is Mercury retrograde is directly talking to those spaces. Okay, so like for example, if I go back and I look at, who said they had the first one? Okay, Saturn is in Capricorn, right? So hers is a direct hit because we already know Mercury is already in Capricorn. Saturn is discipline. Saturn is time management. Saturn is structure. Okay, it's like, where are all these things? You want to advance, but how are these things coming into play? And because it is in Capricorn, it's a direct conversation. So the Mercury retrograde is bouncing up and down on her discipline. All the keywords for Saturn, that is where she's having the conversation within this Mercury retrograde starting off. Okay, but because she's also a Sagittarius, the energy is just going to go from that perspective of her Saturn degrees into the energy of her Sagittarius placement too, because this is her new year. So all this conversation is starting to happen, as well as use this energy to get more discipline than you ever have, right? So that's the topic of how you are looking at her Saturn in Capricorn placement at the 8th degree, right? Monique says she got hers in Neptune in Capricorn at the 8th degree. What is Neptune? Neptune is your dreams, right? So now her dreams are being affected in this Mercury retrograde. So either she's having dreams, or if she's already dreaming, maybe some of her dreams have slowed up, or she's not remembering them, right? So now it's the energy of the conversations of what are you dreaming about, especially when it comes down to legacy, discipline, putting things in order, time management for the family. Why? Because Capricorn has a lot to do with the family, but Capricorn conversation is also about the father, okay? The masculine energy. Cancer energy deals with the mother, which is the polar opposite. Capricorn deals with the energy as it relates to the fathering, because the father energy is said to be the discipline. So where is your discipline? Okay. So if we then take that energy, right, whatever y'all have, I want y'all to also apply this chart to it. In this chart here, this is basically, you can look at your sun sign, you can look at your rising sign, as well as I want you to look at your moon sign in this, and what you just wrote down as it relates to in your chat, what you have 8 degrees. So whatever placement that is, whatever sign energy that is, go and look at that and start to develop other things. So things that you can try to use during this Mercury retrograde. So if I just go off of my sun and my rising and my moon, right? So if I go off the Aries energy, doing some journaling to clarify current aspirations and goals, right? But being careful with leaping at any opportunities that makes me feel like I'm doing it from a place of scarcity. I don't do nothing as it relates to if I feel like I'm doing it out of scarcity or panic or any type of thing where I feel like I am in need. I don't do it, right? I can only do it within me when I can trust that this is the space for me. So I understand that, because I used to do that. I used to leap at opportunities because I'm like, I need this, man. I gotta do this. But no, I don't move like that no more, right? Then if I jump down and looked at the rising energy, my Leo rising, revamping your wellness habits. Now, this is also good because I also know that I have Capricorn energy in my sixth house. I'm already in the space of looking at more ways in which I can improve wellness for myself, right? And being careful of burning candles at both ends, which means doing too much, doing stuff for me and trying to doing stuff for everybody else. I have to make sure that my management of my time, Mercury retrograde in Capricorn, is very on point. Because if I do, then I'll be able to get all the things done as it relates to my needs and my wants and my desires. Okay. Now, if I look at the spaces of looking at my moon sign and I look at the Pisces, seeking support from your trusted network, right? And being careful of thinking that I can do it all myself. But what did I just tell y'all? I'm bringing in coaches, right? Because I don't want to do it by myself no more. I don't desire to be the only one that's making sure that we are having classes every month. We need community, right? Do we not need community? Do you not need someone who could say, hey, man, I fell off a little bit, but I'm back on it. So that just in case you fell off, you could be like, oh, I'm so glad you said that because I did too. Thank you for the motivation. Community helps you to stay motivated. It helps you to stay disciplined. Why you think one of the key terms for Capricorn energy also has a lot to do with drill sergeant or going to boot camp or being in the military, right? Because it is that community. It is that discipline. All right. So everything you got around 8 degrees, study that. That is your study for this week. Digging into all the placements where you have the things that you mentioned of where you have 8 degrees. When we get to the end part of it, I'll pull it back up. If y'all got any questions about your particular placement as far as the Mercury retrograde in Capricorn energy, or how it's then showing up in your 8 degrees, you can bring it back up, okay? The other part that you're going to also look at too is where you have Capricorn in your chart, okay? Wherever you have Capricorn in your chart, I know a lot of y'all in here my Capricorn moon, so I'm talking to you directly. Okay, Capricorn moon energy, you want to pay attention to this too because it's going to also spark your moon energy. Okay, why? Because the Cap moon energy, when we shift into the whole perspective of this week, it led off with that energy and it was in and around. It was 5 degrees, but still a little bit close to the thing. So it's adding a little bit of pressure emotionally. So what I mean about that cold and distant energy or feeling like you don't need nobody, wanting to escape all that stuff or feeling judgmental of yourself and others, that's also the Mercury retrograde Cap energy. Okay. All right. So let me go into, all right. Mercury retrograde in Capricorn. Okay. And as it moves into Sagittarius, so the conversation comes back to us as it relates to the energy of the Sag vibration. Okay. What are some of the keywords that goes along with Sagittarius? Type them in the chat. Keywords for Sag. Keywords for Sag. None. Y'all don't know keywords for Sag? Not one? What am I doing? Travel. Good. Thank you, Monique. Y'all better give me some more. What are some keywords for Sagittarius? Thank you, Leslie. Expansion, philosopher, traveler. What else? Education. Yes. More. Higher education. Exactly. Teacher. I'm looking for one more to go with that, Monique. Teacher and what? The teacher and the students. It's always teacher and the student. The Sagittarius energy goes to travel and it goes to higher education to learn so they can come back and teach. Okay, so it's being the student for the purpose of being the teacher. Most of the spaces that we get hung up in our Sagittarius energy is because we don't mind learning, but we don't want to say nothing. You don't want to tell people what you know because you're afraid of saying the wrong thing, but that's the way babies learn. When you teach a baby 1, 2, 3s, ABCs, they come to you and be like, mama, say your ABCs, say your 1, 2, 3s. Why? Because they are locking it in. That's how you lock that energy in, okay? So you have to learn and you have to teach. So in this retrograde energy that we're talking about, combined with all this new energy, as we move back into the energy of what is going on? Okay. As we move into the second perspective of the energy and dealing with the energy of that Sagittarius combined with the new moon and the Mercury retrograde, what we're looking at is the energy of how it's now asking you, have you been moving? Have you been learning and teaching? Have you been, again, putting yourself into this perspective of the mental blocks that you cannot get out of because you lack the discipline of your own day-to-day study, okay? So this energy of combining with all the Sag energy, and as it goes from the 13th from now all the way into the 23rd, is going to move into the Sagittarius dynamic of the Mercury retrograde. When it moves into that space, then all kind of chaos is going to come together because it's going to be right before we go into the holiday weekend. On the 23rd is where the energy of Mercury retrograde switches into the energy of Sagittarius. And when it does, it's going to be in the middle of travel on the 23rd. So if you plan to travel, I need you to do something, and I need you to do it ahead, okay? I need you to get ahead of the energy, meaning go ahead. If you know you need to be there by the 24th, you need to plan a couple days ahead, okay? I don't care if you're driving. I don't care if you're flying. I don't care if you're on a train. I don't care what you're doing, because it's going to affect your travel. Why? Because we just said one of the key words for Sagittarius is travel, right? But we're in retrograde review mode. So that means frustration, the energy in dealing with the energy of how you then go with your family and those things, how you expect them, or your judgmental energy towards your family. All this stuff is going to come out, okay? So when you start to look at how you then bring all this energy together, and how you then start to use it for your benefit, you need to be studying first. Don't walk into this stuff blind. You know it's happening. And since you know it's happening, you want to make sure that you are planning ahead, putting things in place as they need to be put in place, so you're not running blind. Okay? So now we're going to go into just the conclusion of everything as it relates to just the Sagittarius energy moving into retrograde, the Pluto part of it, right? The reason why you guys have been seeing a whole lot of stuff coming out with Diddy and all the sexual assault and all the energy as it relates to just the male, the boys being abused and all the stuff in the industry is because when Mercury retrograde also came in, it came in and it hit the Pluto and Capricorn at the last degree of 28 degrees, right? And when it hit it at the 28 degree, what it wound up doing is illuminating a lot of this stuff. It pulled a lot of this stuff out. So you're going to see a lot of this more as we start to move deeper and deeper into the next month of the Capricorn energy. More of the industry and the industry failure is going to be exposed, because a lot of this is also exposing our daddy issues. So your daddy issues are going to come up. And don't tell me you got no daddy issues, because we all got them. We all got mama and daddy issues, okay? So time to face your daddy issues. Don't let this Diddy stuff start to distract you from the stuff that's going on in your own insides, which is protection, right? And how we have not really been protecting ourselves, and how we've been making certain moves, or how we believe and don't trust ourselves. So your intuition is screaming at you because the Pluto and Capricorn energy needs you to face your dark side as it relates to all the things around in Capricorn energy. Discipline, your time management, your fathering energy, how you was raised from the male perspective, as well as what you didn't get from the male perspective. If your mother was the masculine energy, then what you got from the masculine energy from your mom. All this stuff is starting to come up because it's showing where we as little kids have not healed. Okay, Pluto is the transformer and is the healer. So these things that are being exposed because it has everything to do with how you then expose yourself for your own healing. So we ain't got time to laugh and be saying, man, it's going on, that's going on. It's going on in your life too. Maybe not to those extremes, but what is your hidden secrets? What is your family hidden secrets that you are resisting to talk about or say that something happened to you? Right? These things are going to be exposed whether you want them to or not. Because even if you don't say something, somebody will. So you got to understand that this is your time of your healing. This is the part of the energy was time for you to now look at the whole entire year. Look at what broke up for you. Go back to the retrogrades that we had starting in April. Go back to May. Go back to the summer. Review everything that we've had to deal with in these transits, so that as you're going through looking at these transits from the earlier part of the year, this retrograde also has a lot to do with what had in June. Okay, so whatever went on for you in June, go back and think about it, especially around like Juneteenth. So somewhere around the week of the 17th, all the way to like as we shifted into Cancer season. This is also a mirror reflection of that, okay? And then you're going to get another backdoor to this energy as we shift into the next whole point of April and the whole next Taurus, Scorpio retrograde energy of that time period. This energy is going to come up again. So you can choose not to, pay attention to it or not study study or not look at your father issues or not look at the ways in which, you know what I'm saying, these are energies inside of you that are keeping you blind. You can choose not to, but know that it's going to keep showing itself because it's giving you the opportunity to make sure that you not continue this cycle on. Some part of your masculine energy, and when I mean masculine, I'm talking to women too. We possess masculine energy. Some part of your masculine energy is keeping you from being comfortable in the life you know you deserve to live. You're fighting. It's time to stop fighting and start to get into the space of surrendering to what it is that you know you need for yourself. But that means that you have to completely get into the space of being honest with your masculine energy as well as your femininity. Same for you, men. You have both. You're not just masculine. You're masculine and feminine. Where has this energy that's been coming up for you and all of this assault, right? Y'all have assault that you're not talking about. Right? You hear the women talking about me too and these things that have happened to me, but where is yours? Where is your honesty about things that have happened to you? Right? This is a collective consciousness. This is not just about what has happened to women. Yes, we've suffered these things, but so have you. Right? So if you don't talk about it, then it's easy. It's a cycle that is becomes very easy for the feminine to call a victim in this thing, right? And not to say that we're not victims, but we are the creators. We women are creating this. We are creating humanity. So we're creating humanity. We have to, number one, take responsible for humanity that we suck at our self-care. We're doing too much. And because we're doing too much, we're also rendering children, we're creating these masculine entities that don't know what to do. So all of this energy that we're dealing with collectively is all us. So the wrap up of this year is look at everything. Stop looking at only the bad points. Look at everything that has happened. Also look at what you have not been doing. Look at where you need to study more. Look at where you are not agreeing to the energy that is your time. You don't have to wait no more. I don't care what it is that you want to do. You just have to say yes to yourself. And a lot of that starts with you using the Sagittarius energy to stop being judgmental. Stop beating on yourself and beating on people around you. How are you expecting other people to support you when you don't support yourself? All you do is support other people. So your mirror reflection is a little bit off. Okay, so study your Mercury in retrograde at 8 degrees energy. Study your energy of Sagittarius that's popping up in your chart. Wherever you have Capricorn and Sag, you need to be circling those things, studying those things, and making sure that the languages that are coming out of this, that you can hear it. You need to also be pulling up your time passages, right? Time passage is something you should be checking into daily to see what your transits are, to see what the conversation is, so you can always be ahead of what you need to work on for you. This is about you. Ain't about nobody else, okay? So the last part we're gonna get into is just our class review and our questions. I want to see if you guys have any questions. What has been going on for y'all, right? What are some of the things that you have been needing to really talk about, okay, or get out as it relates to the vibration that you feel? For me, it started in Virgo season. From Virgo season, then it just started, I ain't gonna say going downhill, but it's definitely started doing it. It definitely started going up and down, up and down. I'm like, what is happening, right? Because I felt like for the most part of the year, even though it was a little bit tight, I still felt like everything was good. You feel what I'm saying? But when we started getting to that latter part of the year, I started to had to let go of a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? People, places, and things that I wasn't even expecting. Okay, just started out of I would say out of nowhere. But if I look at the transits and look at what was going on, it was always coming. You hear what I'm saying? So this is stuff that's coming up that's going to be always coming. All right. All right. Questions, concerns, anything about your placements? What y'all feeling? What's going on? What's your end of the year wrap up? Y'all just in shock? This is